So for a little while now, we've wanted to sit down and talk about one of the most exciting new series in Damien Jungle, and that is the Major Defence series, brought to you by the man like Stretch, sat with me here on the sofa. Back for the first time since we talked about Last Ronin. That was a couple years ago now. We went for a load of old dubs. That was a really good day, really enjoyed it. But we're going to talk about the new and the future. So what is Major Defence?
So Major Defence is a kind of new label. Well, you had the album 3 years ago, I believe. Yeah, 2020. You had the album Defender album, which no one saw coming, which was great. But it's an idea I've had myself with Mark Mack as well. Yeah. Of this new concept I wanted to do, and so we kind of introduced it into the arcade series because it fits quite well. Yeah. But as it's growing and the ideas of where I want to take it, it needed to be a standalone. Yeah. So we've got Major Defence.
Okay, cool. So for those that don't know, Defender is obviously it's a take from your love of comic books, computer games, and there are unique characters that have been created for this, for the purpose specifically. Anyone who's got the Defender album out there will know full well. Amazing package. We'll try and shoehorn a couple of images and stuff in for the people that don't know. The characters, the music, everything works really well together, and this is an extension of that. So this is like an offshoot of the arcade series. Perfect, and this is what Major Defence is. So can you tell us a little bit about who the main character is?
So the main character is Defender, and his sole mission was to save gaming. When you look at the original comic, Catcher was sent down by Solus, who hates gaming, hates that people enjoy, get pleasure from gaming, and wanted to destroy. And Defender's aim was just to save gaming and keep, civilization happy.
Cool, so it's your kind of age-old hero mythology kind of story, good versus evil. Yeah. You've got your concept, you've got your protagonist, your main character, and your baddie. Cool, so obviously we are too deep in the series already. Anyone that was a Clashmouth caught the first two. It was an absolute landslide trying to get a Stampede, trying to get to the ACO store as standard. You know that as well. Don't blush. It's all good. We know. So, was the first release meant to be the first release, or was it the inception of the whole concept? Did you have these tunes and go, I need to start a new series, or were you already starting a new series then decided those tunes would be part of it?
So basically, I had the idea to do Major Defence a while ago, but I had basically the next 10 arcades basically sitting there. Yeah. But as the world has changed and inflation and etc., it was just costing me way too much, and I had to think about, do I just be selfish and continue to do a series a certain way, but then the price has to go up to at least £20, because I don't think people understand that behind the scenes you see the product, but there's a lot of costs that are involved. And I just felt like I couldn't charge people with the cost of living, etc., £20. And it could be more because we've already been told twice that there's a price increase. Yeah. So I was like, let me start something where there's a new concept, same sound. Yeah. As I kept saying in my head. And so I just looked at the arcades of what I wanted to start with. Yeah. And I just thought, I've been doing a lot of work with Enjoy. Let's do that as the first one. And then I kind of just knew what the next 6, 7 would be.
Cool, okay, so it was a nice mash of, I've got the new concept, I've got the tunes, I need to kind of fit them in together nicely, because I mean the ACO arcade series, the big centres, anybody that knows, that whole series is presented in a completely unique way. No one does that. We've got the sleeves are supersized cut out centre leaves, but it's, like you said, it's just become untenable as a concept at the moment.
I'm still going to be putting stuff out, but not... they got spoiled. They were getting arcade after arcade, and the whole concept of it was maybe 2 a year.
Right, not they, we all got spoiled. The music was just outrageous. Well, is just outrageous, still is.
Yeah, I was just putting them out constantly, and then when the prices started increasing. I was still trying to keep it around £12, £13, and that's not a business if I'm getting more cost but not putting up the price.
Yeah, and then to put up the price, you're kind of like ostracising some of the people that can't afford it. And the whole point is it's a collector's item.
Yeah. So, and if you're in the series already, you don't want to miss out on the next.
No, of course you don't.
The next one, because then your series isn't complete. And I've always been about collector series and just having something you can look back and be proud of.
Well, that comes from like the comic book thing, the whole computer game thing, and like you want to complete it. And if people are into it, they need to be able to get hold of the next copy. And you know, if they've like had trouble with like the economic situation and they can't afford £20 for that release at the time, they're going to then pay through the nose for it once it's like rare and it's deleted. And no, it's a noble thing to do, man. Like, just call it for now, see how things go, and go on to the new series.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's giving you a little bit of a new direction, something to kind of get your teeth into. So,
and it's better for the public because they actually, not every release is going to have digital with it, but you got the first two with digital, and if you had arcade, you weren't getting digital.
Nah, not at all.
So you know, there's a lot going on.
I haven't got those, have I?
Well, there's download cards in there somewhere.
So on to the second one. Oh no, we just mentioned the second one, haven't we? So those are out. They're in the shops everywhere. They're available on the ACO store.
There's a few left, I believe, on the ACO store.
And any on the Bandcamp?
Maybe.
Maybe I should know that better than you.
Yeah.
But yeah, acobeats.com, AKO. Go grab those and keep an eye on that site because we're very close to dropping something new.
Yeah. So we've got the next two somewhere. Yeah.
They're there. One of them's on deck.
So just a sneak preview. So the next one's going to be, probably can't see it, but Tom and Jerry remixes. So we've got two remixes done from the Tom and Jerry series, the legendary Tom and Jerry series. I'm not going to tell you who's done the remixes yet, but yeah, they're coming.
So don't zoom in.
Yeah, I just realised you're probably going to see it. Someone's going to see it. But yeah, we've got them coming. And this one is Underground Software, so Comprehensive Vibe that came out originally on Reinforced Records on his EP. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favourite tracks he's done. And we had another mix of it, and then I asked Underground Software if we can do a remix of it.
Yeah. And
did a remix of it, and yeah, it's going to be coming.
Yeah. Nice. So you and...
When I say me and Enjoy,
Yeah, I was going to say you and Enjoy, like, working together really well. Tell me a little bit about that, because obviously there was like Last Raining, and then there's a lot of collaborative work that you guys are doing together. Like, you know, obviously you're in two different countries. There's a lot of like back and forth from that perspective. But what's it like working with them?
It's one of the best things that came out of the whole lockdown period. I remember we had a conversation, and he's very talented. So we started speaking about just the whole lockdown thing, because he lived in Italy and he was really going for it over there. And
it was one of the kind of worst hit places, really.
And he just, he needed motivation. I was kind of in that place where I didn't know what was happening. You know, we didn't know if we were sending records again. We didn't know what was going on. And then we just had this idea to start. I said, I got an idea of a track, and we spoke about how it would work. So I basically started the track, sent him the stems. He added his bit. Heard it. I was like, whoa. Sent it back. Did some bit to it. And then we had a conversation, this track that came on Arcade, in fact.
Yeah.
Where it was done, and it was like, right, this is really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, he loved it because it meant he was coming out of his comfort zone. But the whole conversation was, I don't want you not to say, if you don't like something, don't think, oh, it's stretch, I can't tell him.
No,
the whole thing of this relationship is, I might add something in the track, you don't like it. You don't like it, you don't like it. Just tell me.
Yeah.
And same, if I don't like something, I'm going to tell you. So if we have an honest conversation or honest relationship, let's see where it goes. And yeah, it's got very honest now, where he sometimes tells me, stretched, I think that's out of key.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Okay.
That's the best way to work, though, because obviously you're going to get the best work out of each other.
Yeah.
And I guess that it's obviously worked really well, because you've done an album, you've done...
Yeah, we've got...
I can't even count how many tracks you've done.
We've got about I think you won't mind me saying this, we've probably got about 70 to 80 tracks on the computer.
Yeah?
I think about 45 or 50 are done. Well, I consider they're done. And we've got others that they're kind of done, but I think there's stuff we can do to it. So we've got stuff just sitting there, and we're just trying different stuff now, completely different stuff to just jungle.
Nice. Okay. What sort of stuff?
Just some.
Do you want to say?
Some 140 stuff. I mean,
yeah.
One of them came on the Heads release that we've just done, and then we've got some other stuff we're doing and just some slower tempos because we're both into different types of music, and we're like, let's try some stuff.
I think you've kind of got to be as well, haven't you? Because you can't listen to jungle all the time as much as it's like.
I generally don't listen to it in the car.
Love. No, I don't. I
listen to
I kind of can't when I leave work. It's just like you listen to hard 80s.
I love the 80s.
Heard it here first.
That's what I listened on the way down. I love it.
Just 80s music.
Yeah.
Well, but you need not a distraction, but it's just like something a little bit different, so that like you're not because you also draw influence from listening.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to the last Ronin album, anyone who really knows the 80s will hear two main samples that I've used in there. Yeah. But they won't know. I'm not going to tell them. You can hear it though if you know.
All right. Well, let's go and have a little listen to that one then. Well, so Stretch and Enjoy, probably let's put that on the list of good things that came out of COVID, and that's a really small list, by the way, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. But I mean, the label did well. You
of course. Yeah.
So you helped us continue the Arcade series.
Well, we were able just to carry on doing like a little bit of distribution. We were sending records out to the public. People, like, I think some record sales for certain labels kind of did increase a little bit because people were at home on kind of 80% of their wages, and they were spending money because they weren't going out boozing and eating in restaurants and that. So, it was a little bit of a benefit. Probably garnered you a few new fans along the way. Yeah. People that you were able to now turn on to the Major Defence series. So, we've talked about 1, 2, 3, and 4. Where's it going? Do we have anything else?
So we've got a sneak. I can give you a sneak peek on number 5, which is DJ Sofa.
And she is killing it right now, right?
She killed this. 4 tracks. Yeah. Made for AKO. She thought about AKO and she killed it. Yeah. We had conversations and pleasure just to have that back and forth and then see the end product. So I think people are gonna absolutely love.
Cool. And we're gonna drop a little sneak of that in a moment.
Give them a little sneak of that.
That, like, for me, like, DJ Sofa's like one of the kind of like breakout stars at the moment. Like, she's really doing some amazing stuff, and for the first time I've heard this number 5.
You've
like
heard it,
when you got it a minute ago, and I've got to tell you, I'm blown away by one particular track. Do you want to talk about it?
I mean,
or mention it, or we're just going to preview it?
We'll preview it, but I mean, I love Made to Last. Yeah. She knew the brief. I didn't have to tell her. She just hit me with this tune, and I was like, wow. Yeah. I'm taking it straight away.
I guess for any artist looking at like wanting to release with you, it's like the brief's out there. Like, you don't need to ask. You know what.
But sometimes people send me stuff and they're like, AKO, this is all AKO, and I listen to it and I'm like, I don't know what you're listening to, but that is not AKO. And I've had some Jump Up, and I'm like,
Jump Up?
I think they've just heard about the brand and jumped on it rather than just take 5-10 minutes out.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Take some time and absorb
and
the
just understand the sound that I'm putting out. But I mean, in terms of so far,
this Sofa one. I think this instantly is like one of my favourite songs at the moment. Like, it's just so cool. continuing this double dropping kind of vibe? Like we did the first 2 and now we're going to do 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the next. We got up to 9 that I've put in the system that will come in the next few weeks, so they'll be there.
Yeah.
And then I think double dropping's better in terms of postage, etc. for the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I did a couple of single ones, and I love the fans or supporters because they will send some feedback back and say, "Oh, can you do 2 because it's better for me," and etc.
Yeah.
So I've decided to try and do 2. I don't want to do 3 because I think that might be pushing it too much with the economy and stuff. But 2 at a time.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You get 4 new tunes in one drop.
Yeah.
And it saves on postage because a lot of people are buying direct, like off the internet now.
Yeah.
Like, obviously we sell these onto record stores, and that's great, keeping the bricks and mortar stores going. However, I'm guessing the majority of the fans are now buying online, so it makes a lot of sense. So what did we say? 6, 7, 8, 9.
We're up to 9, but 10's already kind of there.
Yeah.
But then in between that, we're going to be doing Defender 2, which would be called Major Defense.
Yeah.
So if you had the first album, which I think was, I don't generally talk about what we do in that term, but I thought that I knew what was coming, and when it came and the people saw it and they were blown away, and it sold out so quick. I knew we had something here in the music, etc.
I knew it a second it dropped because you said there's a delivery coming tomorrow. You know nothing about this. Tell me what you think when you open it up. I was like, oh my god, what is this?
And we didn't tell no one. We kind of gave him a corner of it, and they didn't understand what was going on.
Just the tease,
and I just wanted people to get it, open it, and be like, wow, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, totally. And that's what I felt like. You were like, oh, it's not coming for ages, but keep this under your hat. And I was like, wow, amazing. It was such a cool concept, and to be able to like continue it as its own series is like sick.
So you've got the second out. Well, it'd be the first album on the new Major Defense imprint, but it's the second. And I think you're gonna love what we got cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything you could give away? Concept, the look, any tunes?
No tunes.
Fine. That's cool. No problem.
But in terms of
cut off
things that are coming, I suppose we can talk about the label as a whole.
Yeah.
Because the album's kind of like the launch pin.
Yeah.
You've had the singles that are coming out, but then the album's going to kick off, and then we want to. Well, the whole thing with Defender, I've got this idea. Me and Mark sit and conversate all the time, and the idea is we got a game coming. We're going to start with an 8-bit version, and over time it's going to turn into more 3D, just next level.
Nice.
Game.
Where's that kind of going to be available? What's the plan with that?
And if it goes how I want it to go in my head, it should drop around the album. Because I think that'd be a nice thing to go with it. But it will. My
is
aim
it going
is
to be like
to
a browser-based game, or?
I'm trying to make it app-based so you can have it on your Android or have it on your iPhone.
That'd be wicked.
That's the thing.
That's the vision.
Yeah, that's the vision. So,
wow,
it's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
Like we were talking about before, like you've been doing this 30 years.
Yeah.
Well, all right, 21 years releasing music, and obviously your love of the comics, movies, computer games has kind of inspired the arcade series, led into Major Defense, and it's like that keeps you. Is it interested in releasing music, or is it to keep you busier? How do you see it? Because obviously you could just release 12 after 12 of absolutely wicked jungle.
That's what a lot of people say. Oh, how come you're doing this and you're doing that? I think we've got a label where we can. The whole thing with AK is about artwork. Greg Blackman, who did the comic, he's a part of this whole concept of getting this whole look how I want it, and the guy's just talented. Got to shout Greg, man. Goldie's always said that artwork, music, and I've always been into that. And I have a label that I can take it anywhere because of the artwork. And I wanted, what can we do? What else can we do to make it interesting?
Yeah.
The people that support, they're like me. We're just everyday people that we game, we watch movies, we play comics. So why not fuse the things we love and just turn this brand into something where you can have a bit of that and a bit of that, but, you know, and the key thing is the music that's still there. So that's what I wanted. I just wanted to I want to do loads of things. I want to take over the world, but
one step at a time. We'll start with the computer game, shall we?
So we're going to do the computer game.
Yeah.
I want to do books.
Yeah.
And that would be graphic
novel type stuff. Yeah.
From age 8 upwards. But there'd be meaning behind it. It's not going to be just, you know, fighting and stuff like that. There's a whole meaning to the whole Defender series.
Okay.
The comic, which will be on the albums. Yeah. And I might do a couple of standalone comics because there's a story to tell. Yeah. Regarding the characters and the whole concept is going to go in different. So when you think it's just about music or just about gaming, you find it's about something else. Yeah. So, yeah.
And that's going to be revealed as time goes by?
Yeah, We're going to keep revealing. I mean, we kind of gave people a sneak peek from the first album. So if you had a sticker, everyone got a different sticker, and you done the QR code and it took you to a secret site that gave you a bit about the character. Yeah. But we're going to be doing character cards. That's what I want. I want character cards, so you get a feel of, you know, you can connect with the characters. And there's a lot. My head's exploding with so much stuff, but it's all going to come into it. Yeah. Because it's just, for me, it's about just leaving something behind that another generation can look at and think, oh, that was cool, you know. Yeah,
well, it's leaving a legacy, but also at the same time you're having fun creating along the way, and the characters feature really heavily in it. Obviously, they're on all the artwork. Yeah, they're going to be part of the game, the books. Like, it's a really great concept. So, who are the characters and what do they represent? Who are they?
Okay, so you've got. I told you about Solus and Catcher. So their whole thing is just to kill people's joy. They want a world where there's no fun, there's no happiness, it's just dark and gloomy, and they control people. Defender is like us, he suffers from mental health, and his story will be told, you know, as to why he plays games, why that keeps him happy. And then you've got Sheila, who's autistic. So some people should have seen all that if they've been studying what we're doing, because we've been leaving little kind of
hints along the way. Yeah.
And her story will be told. So that's why there's so much like of their stories to be told individually. Yeah. Plus we've got new characters coming, which I'm not going to tell you about, but there's new characters that should feature in the next comic. And then the whole kind of AKO. What can I use? The AKO verse. Will start making sense.
That's the one.
That will make sense. So I'm constantly, you know, back and forth with Mark.
Developing the ideas. But like, what I like about the character concept so far is that they've got like a representation of the spectrum of people that could be listening to the music. Like, we're all in there. Like, you know, we can relate to those people, and that's what, you know, you look at like Marvel is like there's always somebody that, like, within the Avengers particularly, it's like there's a person that you can relate to specifically. It's not just about like a superhero that doesn't really exist. It's just like, that's my power. That's what I've got, and I guess that's what you're trying to recreate.
That's who Defender is. He's not a superhero.
He's one of us.
He's one of us that just, you know, sticks his AKO mask on.
Yeah.
Just goes
so Defender, the original album, came out before that little known thing that kept us all stuck in our houses. Like, did he know the future or something?
Yeah. So I'm the Oracle. No one really knows, but I saw the future coming because Defender was done a year before. Yeah. The whole concept was done a year, probably 8 months before. And then it was sitting we were sitting here. It was sitting here because COVID happened, but because of the whole, I don't know, it just stems from Guyver as well. So if you look at the original AKO logo, there's the AKO, and I kind of feel like that's a key part of AKO. So we was like, how can we do that on the character without? I didn't want it to be a robot, you know, or machine or whatever. And
no, of course, like that sort of semi-bionic.
They kind of put a mask, And to be fair, when he starts going into different worlds, or, you know, to try and save whatever the mission is, that will protect him as such. You get what I mean? So
nice, yeah.
It works. It protects him during COVID anyway. So
because he's still here. He's on the other side of it. So we just talked about like, you know, the fans, the people, essentially all of us are like geeks and nerds and comic book lovers, and like, so that's you like appealing to the fans, like nature from that side of things, like the AKO like tribe, as you know, I guess you could put it,
that's a good way of putting it, yeah.
Are hardcore, dedicated, like loyal music lovers that really get the concept of what you're doing and really genuinely support it, because we see the orders, we see the regular names that pop up, we see the stampedes that appear at Clash Mouth Live. Obviously, you know, like you interact with them well as well. Like, what does that mean to you to have that loyal following? Does that enable you to carry on doing what you do?
Well, I mean, if we didn't have the supporters supporting all these concepts and fun ideas that they love as well. They love a concept. They love something fresh, something new, like me. I speak to them all the time when I can. If I get emails or inboxes on, you know, social media or Clash Mouth when we're interacting, they love, because it's fresh. It's something different than just putting out 12. And they support regardless of what's going on. They did it through lockdown.
Yeah, and
that means everything, because without them, I can't. All this stuff in here, all the stuff in Mark's head,
get it out.
We can't get it out. They trust what I'm doing, and I'm just thankful for the support. So as long as the trust is there, and I'll always try to interact and be approachable, I can put these ideas out there.
Well, big up to you lot for supporting and making all this happen, and it's like gives all of us the joy of the music, the artwork, and everything that's to come with the project. So that, like,
it gives me a purpose as well. It just gives me something, you know, I get up in the morning, I got my 9 to 5, which most people think I just sit at home and make music.
You're a busy man. Whenever I talk to you, it's I'm going to the next meeting, I've got my thing.
I'm busy, you know, I've got, you know, just a normal person, just work as well.
With a serious passion.
Yeah, but this is what keeps me sane. This is what balances everything out. This is what makes it all worthwhile. So it's the fans that, and I don't really like to say fans, I like to say supporters, or I even like the word you use, tribe, that just give.
It's the AKO gang, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, they're there.
I just love it, and I love them to bits, and I'll keep giving everything I can and giving them quality products and music. And I just thank them for supporting.
For many years to come as well, because you know,
we got a long journey.
Yeah,
we got a long journey, man.
All the haters that said, "Oh, it's a flash in the pan," like here we are, 30 years later, it's still rolling, and it's going stronger than ever. Stronger than ever.
And we've got fresh artists coming through as well. So
yeah,
and I love that about the label as well. We've got people that are getting their moment now, and they've probably been part of it. They've been collecting records or whatever. They're making music now, and they're sending stuff in, and we've got some surprises coming with new artists as well. We got a couple. There's a couple that have sent me stuff, and I'm listening. I'm just like, oh my god, that's what gets me excited, because I know I've got this fresh artist that's gonna implode on the scene. So,
but yeah, nice. Well, look, like 3 and 4, they're coming. We've just talked about so much about the series, like keep it locked. Like, you're going to see some really, really, really big releases come in, and some exciting projects. And are we going to see these?
Oh, I didn't hear much.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. So we're recreating a new website, which is going to be the actual hub for anything AKO. Even people connected, so like yourselves, maybe a couple of pressing plants to help. You know, but it's just going to be this hub for all things AKO. Maybe not pressing plants, right? But it's going to be a hub. It's going to have art, you know, things on artists, you know, how to get in contact with them. It's going to have the new releases. It's going to be linked with the YouTube, SoundCloud, just social media, basically.
So it's where it ties everything together.
Everything
the whole
together.
AKO story, the arcade story, the Major Defense story, and everyone that's involved.
Exactly, and one of the biggest things when people know about AKO is merch. So we're just doing this whole new line of merch. So there'll be merch for Major Defense, which is, I've got some ideas and I've given it to the printers and they're trying things out, and I've seen a couple of things and I'm like, this is going to get very interesting. So merch is going to kind of level up.
It's going to be a big part.
It has to
development.
Yeah, we're going to level up on the merch. We'll always keep the standard merch, but I want to do some premium merch that when you've got it, it feels like you're buying a record as well. It's part of you for life.
You're going to be real excited to get that in your hands.
If you had bought the 25-year t-shirt, hoodie, and the bomber jacket with the badges, so we've got these badges coming, as you know, the replacement, even on the hats as well. It's all going to be interchangeable. We've got loads of different colours, but that's all going to be on the new site. So everyone that's been asking me when they see me out or sending me an email, when's the patches coming? It's all there. It's coming soon.
Nice. That's a wicked concept as well.
Yeah.
Keep people into the brand. Yeah. Well, I know when you showed Jake before this, blew his little mind.
Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah. We got jacket. Oh, we've got some Nike windbreakers coming as well.
Duh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming.
I was wearing mine in the last video we done.
Yeah, there's a windbreaker coming. 3 different colours, or 4, I think. They're limited, in true AK style.
Of course they are.
So you get them. When they're gone, they're gone. So
I'll be flashing at you.
It's coming, yeah. And I don't know if anyone's, well, they should have noticed it because I did a video. If you feel the sleeve, so I wanted something just a little bit different.
So it's like a Sport UV, isn't it?
Yeah. So it charges up in the day and then at night the lightning kind of, and the back as well. But these sleeves are limited edition. So if you haven't got it, you better get the next few releases because I'm changing that whole concept again.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. It might be plain. It just might be plain. It might not be. I don't know. But after every certain release, the concept is, the sleeve will be the same, but I'm looking at different things. Maybe plain ones next and then do something else different.
Yeah. But you've got to keep switching it up continuously.
So everything's going to be limited.
Doing that.
Even down to the sleeves.
Nice.
Yeah, stuff, yeah.
Sick. Will there be any represses if things go so well that the demand's there? Or is this limited, like in true AKO fashion? Have you got to grab it now?
I think it's a grab now.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
With the way the industry is to try and get represses, I would hate to. I did it before with the pre-order. Wait for the represses. It takes 2-3 months, and it's, I don't know, something's lost.
Yeah.
Or
a little bit of that magic's kind of gone, like the anticipation of like the pre-order coming and then the release is out, and then it's just like.
So I think when they're here, they're here. I mean, with this one, because it was the first 2, I've held off. I've put some up and then I've held some back because the supporters do email and just say, I can't afford it at the moment, blah, blah, blah. So I've always tried to hold back and put some out. So some maybe in the middle of the month, some at the end of the month, and then maybe hold some again for the following month. So it's always available.
You're inadvertently opening yourself up to customer service nightmares right now, doing this publicly.
It's happening, isn't it? It's already happening, man. And some of it I do catch, some of it I do miss. But yeah, wherever I catch, I do always respond, and I do try and make the experience as easy as possible. But I'm one man.
You are, and you're doing a great job of it as well.